Hey guys, Justice here with tomorrowsfilmmakers.com, the largest online film academy in the world, and today we're going to be talking about cinematic color. Now, if you haven't seen our other videos on cinematic composition, cinematic lighting, and cinematic movement, definitely go check those out because I think those would be really helpful for you guys to watch and understand more about cinematography. But today I want to talk about something that isn't talked about nearly as much as it should, and that is cinematic color in your storytelling. Now, did you know that you can make an audience feel a certain way just by showing a color? It could be the color of a light, the color of a jacket, a car, even the atmosphere around them. All of these can communicate a message. So in this lesson, we're going to show you how they use color in Hollywood today, and also how you can use color in your projects. But if you enjoy these lessons and you'd like to learn even more, you can check out our full academy at tomorrowsfilmmakers.com. We have over 1,000 training videos and over 100 hours of content on every single filmmaking subject you can imagine, just like this. We have had over 10,000 students join our academy and they are loving it. And right now we are doing something we have never done before, and we are running an insane sale of only $97 for our lifetime membership to our award-winning online film course. So if you want to take your filmmaking to an entirely new level and learn all about filmmaking from professionals in the industry, click the link in the description and head on over to tomorrowsfilmmakers.com to learn more. But with that being said, how can color tell a story? Or more importantly, what is the purpose of color in your films? You would think that every single color would have a specific feeling that is universally used that way. Orange is nice and warm and gives a homey kind of feel, while blue is very cool and can be used to show danger or some other emotion. And while that may be true to a degree, if you establish a color to mean something at the beginning of a film, the audience will subconsciously feel that way when you show the color again. So if we establish that warm is bad and blue is good, when warm color comes on the screen, the audience will start to feel uneasy without knowing exactly why. And that's the beauty of color in a film. It's not supposed to be noticed. The color in your films is purposeful, but should never be noticed. Now, what do I mean by this? So let's just take a color that has importance in a film. Now, like him or not, M. Night Shyamalan is a master of color in film and has always used the color red to show something significant in his films. If something major is about to happen, the color red is always present. A red doorknob, a red shirt, red balloon. There is significance in the color red.
You would notice that there were little clues along the way, and one of them was with the color red.
We use the color red to indicate anything in the real world that has been tainted by the other world.
So since he's established that color as significant, the rest of the films are surprisingly absent of the color red. Why is that? Because the color red is only used for something significant. If it was just throughout the rest of the movie, the audience would be confused.
Anytime there was red by mistake, I was like, get it out, get it out.
Now, in his fourth film, The Village, he uses the color red to an extreme. There are creatures in the woods that are attracted to the color red, so everyone always wears the color yellow. When you see red, you automatically feel scared and concerned because they're holding the bad color.
This color attracts those we don't speak of. You must bury it.
Now, this is an obvious example because even in the film, they bring attention to a certain color being bad. But what about a film that doesn't bring attention to itself? Let's take two projects about plagues and disease and see how they handle color. Contagion versus Chernobyl. One is a movie and one is a miniseries, but they both deal with sickness, illness, and disease, and I absolutely love both of them. But if we look at Contagion, we can see right at the beginning that anytime someone has the disease, it's a strong yellow color. And not just a nice yellow, but a sick caution tape kind of yellow. If scientists handle the disease, the suits are yellow. If it shows someone coughing, there's a yellow environment. The director establishes right from the beginning that yellow is a bad color. But when someone doesn't have the sickness, it's bluer than anything you have ever seen before. And why is there such a contrast? Because the movie establishes right at the beginning that yellow is dangerous and blue is safe. And once you establish that, you can let the audience know if something is safe or not just by making it a certain color. When the vaccine comes out, the wrist strap that everyone gets after you take the shot is blue, signifying that the vaccine here is safe. If the wrist strap was yellow, we would automatically feel like the vaccine might not work or was even some sort of fake. And all of this emotion is just by the color of the wrist strap. The color of the wrist strap gives you all these emotions because we have established the color from the very beginning. If we take Chernobyl, they established right at the beginning that green is bad. Anytime radiation is present, there is a green tint throughout the entire scene. When our main character thinks everything is fine, it's normal colors, and whenever he reads about the radiation leak, the color immediately turns green, a sickly, gross green. So green is dangerous and blue is safe. And again, once we establish those colors, we can continue to show the audience what is safe and what is not. The hazmat suits are green, signifying radiation. When she visits her husband in the hospital, the curtains are a nice white, but whenever he is dying of radiation, the curtain becomes an eerie green. The sanitation trucks that clean the radiation, they are blue, signifying that this is safe. The captain, who wears green for the entire runtime, has to convince a group of men to move radioactive rocks from the roof. While he's doing that, he's wearing green. When the job is finished, all of a sudden he's wearing blue. This shows the audience that the job they're about to do is dangerous, and then whenever it is done, the danger is now over and it is safe. 3 men are tasked with disposing of radioactive animals, and the truck they drive is blue, which is safe, yet the truck bed with all the radioactive animals is green. This two-tone color of this truck was not by accident. It's showing us that in the cab is safe and whatever is in the back is not. Both of these films communicate danger and safety to the audience by establishing dangerous and safe colors at the beginning and using them throughout the entire runtime. But like I said at the beginning, the thing I love about color in film is that yes, I'm bringing attention to it, but when you watch it, this is not something that you ever notice. This is a subconscious message communicated to the audience. So when the audience sees someone walk into a green room in Chernobyl, they don't think, there's green in this room, he should get out of there. Instead, they think, it's dangerous, he should get out of there. And the audience doesn't know exactly why they know there is danger in this room, but they just know it isn't safe. And we know it's because the director has established a good and bad color, and we are showing the audience the bad color in this room. This is not something the audience is aware of, but subconsciously this information is fed to the audience and determines exactly how they feel. Now, a franchise like Star Wars is an obvious example of the battle of colors, red versus blue, and we always know who is good and who is bad. In The Force Awakens, J.J. Abrams uses these two colors to visually show the inner struggle of Kylo Ren. As Kylo is trying to figure out what he should do and the decision he needs to make, we as the audience see the struggle visually with red and blue on either side of his face. When he finally makes his decision, we know what decision has been made before anything happens because the blue light fades away and we are left with nothing but red. Again, subconsciously giving the audience the information they need without the audience knowing. And color in film doesn't just have to be good or bad color. You can have a character associated with a color. This character is associated with blue, and this character is always associated with orange. When you see the two mix, you know that these two characters' paths are about to cross. In The Godfather, the color orange is always used to associate death. Not red, not blue, but orange. So before someone dies, the color orange is always present. And sometimes it's an overall hue to the scene, and sometimes it's more subtle, like actual oranges spilling across the frame whenever someone dies. In Breaking Bad, our main character Walt is always wearing bright colors at the beginning of the show, but towards the end of the show, as Walt starts to become more and more wicked, his colors start to get darker and darker. And in a very famous scene where he reveals the true nature to his wife and how dangerous he really is, he removes his red overshirt to reveal an even darker red undershirt, a visual representation of the darkness hiding underneath his already dark exterior. And all we have done is change the color of his clothing. In the movie Her, when our main character falls in love with an operating system named Samantha, the color red is always used to represent their relationship. Samantha is the color red, and when Theodore is around her or falling in love with her, he is wearing red or there is red around him. This represents that this operating system that he is in love with is affecting every part of his life, and he's not able to get away from it. When he finally realizes that many people are also experiencing what he is experiencing, we start to see others with that same red in their clothing. And when Theodore finally does get rid of Samantha, red is now absent from his life, and not only does he feel free, but we as the audience feels free. Red represents Samantha, and when our character is free from her, red is gone. But what about not just a certain color in clothing, but the absence of color, or more, the absence of saturation in clothing? In Secret Window, our main character and his wife are going through a terrible divorce, and they have lost all joy in life. So every piece of clothing that they have is faded and void of color. When they stand next to someone else, they stand out because their clothes are so faded. And this was done on purpose.
Working with the color, the mid-tone color, kind of color that they were very strong, but they fade down like under the sun. It's a kind of twilight zone. Everything is loose, everything is fade, and compared to the flashback and compared to the other character, where the color is more bright, more colorful, more happy.
You can even take color a step further and have a certain color represent something our main character is searching for. A well-known example is in Blade Runner 2049. Denis Villeneuve has stated that the color yellow represents the truth our main character is looking for. And the color yellow becomes more and more frequent as our character comes closer to the truth. From a yellow flower to a small light in another room, or a small yellow light in the room where he is discovering more truth, and towards the end of the film when he finally finds what he's looking for, the entire scene is yellow, representing that he has finally found the truth he was searching for throughout the entire film. So as you can see, color is used in storytelling all the time, and it doesn't just need to be an overall wash of the image. It can be a specific item, a light through a window, an article of clothing, or even the absence of color in clothing. And to use color in your films is very simple. Just establish the color scheme at the beginning of the film and carry that throughout the entire project. If you choose blue as a bad color, then have your villain wear some sort of blue, or maybe when something bad happens, there's a blue light in the background. Establish the color at the beginning of the film, and then you are able to subconsciously make the audience feel a certain way without saying anything and without the audience even knowing about it. So I hope that you guys have really enjoyed this video and has helped you guys out on how to use color in your films to communicate to the audience. If you'd like to learn every single aspect of filmmaking, you can check out our full academy at tomorrowsfilmmakers.com. We have over 1,000 training videos and over 100 hours of content on every single filmmaking subject that you can imagine. If you want to go into the production side with weddings, real estate, music videos, commercials, we teach all about that. And if you want to go more into the narrative side with directing, storyboarding, acting, we teach all about that as well. And like I said at the beginning, we have been successfully selling this course with an $800 price tag for years, but for a limited time, we are offering it to you guys for only $97. Our award-winning $800 online film course is yours for only $97. So, as you're making your projects and as you're making your films, choose a color palette that you would like to follow and establish good and bad colors, or even just significant colors, or even communicate to the audience by removing saturation in your color. Just determine all of this beforehand, and you will be shocked how you can subconsciously send messages to the audience just by color. So I hope this video has really helped you guys out. To learn more, click the link in the description below and learn all the skills that you need to succeed.